Have you ever felt like the whole world was against you? Like no matter what you did, things just kept getting worse? If so, you're not alone. The Bible tells us about a man who went through exactly that and came out stronger on the other side. His name was Job, and his story is a powerful lesson in patience and endurance. Let's travel back in time to ancient Uz, where we meet Job, a wealthy, righteous man blessed with a large family and vast herds. He's known far and wide for his integrity and faith in God. But Satan challenges God, claiming Job is only faithful because of his blessings. God allows Satan to test Job, confident in his servant's devotion. In a series of devastating blows, Job loses everything. His livestock is stolen, his servants are killed, and a terrible storm takes the lives of all his children. In a single day, Job goes from having it all to having nothing. But even in his grief, Job's response is remarkable. He falls to the ground and worships, saying, "The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." But Satan isn't done. He strikes Job with painful sores from head to toe. Job's wife, overcome by their misfortune, tells him to curse God and die. But Job refuses, asking, "Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" Through it all, Job doesn't sin by charging God with wrongdoing. Job's friends come to comfort him, but their words only add to his pain. They insist he must have sinned to deserve such suffering. Job maintains his innocence, but struggles to understand why God allows his agony to continue. He cries out to God, pouring out his anguish and confusion. Fast forward to the New Testament, where James, the brother of Jesus, writes to encourage believers facing their own trials. He points to Job as an example of perseverance, saying in James 5:11, "As you know, we count as blessed those who have persevered." You have heard of Job's perseverance and have seen what the Lord finally brought about. The Lord is full of compassion and mercy. James understood that life isn't always easy, even for those who love God. He knew that believers would face hardships, just as Job did. But he wanted them to remember that enduring trials with patience can lead to spiritual growth and a deeper relationship with God. Back to Job's story. After enduring months of suffering and questioning, God finally speaks to Job out of a whirlwind. He doesn't explain why Job suffered, but instead reminds Job of his power and wisdom as the creator of all things. Job humbly acknowledges God's sovereignty, saying, "My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you." In the end, God restores Job's fortunes, blessing him with twice as much as he had before. He's given new children, and his wealth is multiplied. Job lives to see 4 generations of his family, dying old and full of years. So what can we learn from Job's story and James' teachings? First, that suffering isn't always a punishment for sin. Sometimes it's a test of faith that can refine and strengthen us. Second, that it's okay to express our pain and questions to God, as long as we maintain our trust in Him. James encourages believers to consider it pure joy when facing trials, knowing that the testing of faith produces perseverance. He promises that those who persevere under trials will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love Him. In our own lives, we may face job loss, health issues, broken relationships, or other challenges that shake our faith. But Job's example and James' words remind us that God is with us in our suffering. They encourage us to hold on, to trust in God's compassion and mercy, even when we can't see the way forward. Remember, patience in suffering isn't about passively accepting hardship. It's about actively trusting God, continuing to do good, and allowing our trials to deepen our faith. Like Job, we may not always understand why we're going through difficult times, but we can choose to believe that God is working all things for our good, even when it doesn't feel like it. So the next time you face a trial, big or small, remember Job. Remember his unwavering faith, his honest struggles, and the restoration God brought about in his life. And take heart from James' words, knowing that as you persevere, you're growing stronger in your faith and drawing closer to God. Your patience in suffering isn't in vain. It's shaping you into the person God created you to be.